Hi, I'm Richard and welcome to Procurement Pulse. What is Procurement Pulse?
Hi, I'm MJ. So Procurement Pulse is all about having the opportunity to ask all the questions you've been meaning to ask. You'll also get an option to discuss all the hot topics within the industry, and finally we'll be able to discuss what are the best practices that we all need to know about.
So our role in KCS Procurement Services is to build brand awareness of all of our frameworks that we can help support the public sector with.
What we often hear is that the whole procurement process feels a lot more complicated than it needs to be.
So we thought, why not create a space where best practices can be shared and people can learn?
And in this section here, we're going to go through some of the more commonly asked questions that we come across when we speak to the buyers, such as yourselves, on a regular basis. So here's one for you, Rich.
Yep.
What does it cost to use our framework?
Actually, that's a really good common question that we are often asked. It's actually free to access our frameworks. So I've got another really good one for you, MJ, that again, is one of those ones I'm always asked. I'm a public sector person, how do I use your framework? How do I use it? What's the process?
That's a really good one, and one we get asked quite a lot. It's really simple. We're all about simplicity, and we're all about the support levels that we can offer. So the first thing, once you've got in touch with us, we'll get back in touch. There's a really simple form called the Customer Access Agreement. We ask you to fill that in. That simply allows us to verify that you're eligible to use the framework. After that point, we do a deep dive as to what it is that you may need and what we can do to support you. So you can decide at that point, do you want to do a direct award? Do you want to go through the further competition route? It's totally up to yourself. We'll get involved as much as you need us to. At that point, once you've made a decision, we'll give you some more documents to fill in. Really straightforward. It's a two-step process, getting that validity that you can use the framework, and then having that agreement sent across to the suppliers. So Rich, occasionally I'm asked, can I recommend a supplier? Or can we?
Unfortunately, we can't. Due to the regulations, we've got to be impartial when it comes to recommending suppliers. We can obviously advise the end user, the public sector, but we can't actually specify which supplier to use because due to the compliancy regulations, we've got to be impartial.
So within our documents, within the terms and conditions, our agreement supersedes, overarches that of what you might have with the supplier, and that's stipulated within that. So you've got the security of being within the public sector, that our frameworks are designed purely to protect you and give you the best value possible. So you have reassurance within that. It can get complicated when you sign in separate documents with separate suppliers, but having our document signed supersedes that. So that gives you reassurance. So occasionally, Rich, someone will come along and say, for my school, I need 30 new iPads and I need maybe a new screen setting up within our location. What can you do to support schools who have that requirement, but I'm quite sure how to go about it?
Yeah, again, I mean, education is a massive thing, and we're really keen to help support the education sector, especially with the financial difficulties they're facing. And yes, obviously we can help support them with that procurement of iPads or said laptops. We've got a slightly different process that we go down, where we can obviously contact the school, talk about what they actually need, get them to fill out some documentation that's very easy to use, and then obviously give them the related suppliers, once they've signed the customer access agreement, we can verify they can use the framework. We let them then just get on and do their own sort of mini competition with the suppliers and seeing what best value they get. And again, we'll always support them through that process. So any questions, they can come to us, they can come to the framework team, they come to the direct channel assistants, just to find out what the process is, if they need support, and if they need support and they've got questions they need to ask, what are the answers to those questions. So even if it's 5 laptops, 5 iPads, we will try our best to help everybody in the public sector do their procurement.
We have a clear 5-step process when it comes to getting quotations. So if it's an audiovisual requirement or if it's a IT hardware requirement, we've got a clear process defined and we can give you all the documentation that you need. And it basically stipulates what you need to do to make sure you've done your due diligence and to be compliant, to give these different organisations, suppliers an opportunity to put across their best foot. And it also gives you a definition as to what we'll do, what documents we'll provide moving forward. And it's clearly defined, so you'll know when the ball's in your court, so you need to do something, or if you're waiting for us to get back to you. But we can handhold through that process and make sure you're completely comfortable with that.
Yeah, again, another one of those things with schools that we've found in our experience is they don't have procurement people. They don't have people sitting there just doing their procurement needs and buying stuff that they need from a school. So that's where we come into our own, I think, with our little procedures that we've got to help the schools actually procure those little things that they need. We're definitely there to help them, and I think that's really important. Obviously, the bigger schools have got more, they've got business managers and things like that which can help, and again, we can help support them.
Yeah.
But we definitely know, especially with the smaller size schools, that definitely they do need a little bit more support, and we're definitely there to help them do that.
The network is there and available for you guys to use, so absolutely, if you're not too sure what the next step is, and commonly we have that situation, which don't we, where people come into the organisation, the school, for the first time and hasn't been told how the last person did it, or hasn't been told that actually it's not just one certain way that you have to go about for your procurement needs. There's different options available to you, and what we're here to do is make sure you're totally aware that procurement doesn't need to be difficult. We can make this process as simple as it needs to be and get you the results that you need. So it saves you time, money and effort, and we're here to be that link to get you that product resource that you need.
Yeah, and the other point on that is part of our role is to educate people, as in educate the public sector. They've got a choice when it comes to procurement. You don't have to go down the same old route. You can use other avenues, and we're just another person that provides that avenue. So we feel it's a really good message that we speak to the public sector, and we just talk to them about procurement and our frameworks and our brand. That's what we do, and we're there to support them. And that's ultimately our role, is just to be that supportive network to any organisation, to give them a clear, precise message of how our frameworks work, what the benefits of using them, and how we can support them. That's our message.
One of the common challenges that we come across when we're speaking to the NHS, for example, is they seem to be going through a defined route to market, and it's usually that they have to use supply chain. That's not the case. There's no restriction to the NHS or any of the foundation trusts that they have to use them. And it's similar with the other organisations within the public sector. They don't have to use Crown services. It's just not the case. I understand that there'll be a reluctance because it's always been done in a particular way, but what makes sense? To do it the way that you're used to, or doing it a way where you'll be saving time, money and effort.
Yeah, and the other thing that I do hear a lot about is people have never heard of KCS. They don't know who we are. They don't know what we represent. And when we speak to them and tell them the frameworks, the support network we've got behind us, what we're trying to achieve in the marketplace, they love it. They love the fact is, wow, we didn't know you existed. Direct orders, so easy. Why we never used it before? And we say, we don't know, but we're here to try and help you do that now. We're now here to try and make you go, actually, there is a good route to market, and KCS frameworks are that route, and we are the support behind that.
Just one thing to add to that, and we've mentioned them a few times, but we've not really gone into it in much detail. We've got some really strong relationships with our suppliers, and they actually do recommend us quite a lot. So if you've not heard of KCS procurement, that's fine. Speak to some of the suppliers that are within our framework and ask about the support levels, the service level that you'll be getting from us, or contact us directly. You'll be able to see our details in the comments section below, and you'll be able to contact us directly or on our shared inbox, which is PS Customer Inquiries at csltd.org.uk. Follow us on LinkedIn, where you'll be able to keep up to date with all of the latest activities and new frameworks that we're updating and releasing. Also, you'll be able to get in touch with us directly. Our contact details should be on the screen for you now, or you can contact us on PS Customer Inquiries at csltd.org.uk. Thanks for joining us today and for your time. Hopefully that's been beneficial for you. So one final thing before we leave, keep your finger on the pulse.
The Procurement Pulse.